Good morning. I hope everybody that listens is keeping well. I'm outside for a walk and wanted to share some of my thoughts, ideas, concepts about these strange happenings around the world. This quote unquote fog that's hitting some parts of the world. Um, some people would like you to believe it's another situation in which the sky is falling. Well, no, the sky is not falling. So let's dissect what's going on. Well, for instance, why call it a fog? It's not a fog because what is the follow-up question? A fog of what? Because fog, is humidity. It's water. So not calling it the right thing is already the first red flag. They are trying to what? Stir you away from what it actually is. What it is, to me, it seems like particles. But then the follow up question would be particles of what? People should be taking samples and studying it to know what it is. I suspect it's part of the, manipulation of the environment, plan. It's no secret. There's, groups that want to control the patterns of the weather or even block the sun. And this might be part of their agenda. Why would they want to block the sun? Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? I mean, I don't see any change in the environment at all. In fact, these past, year, 2024, hit hit precisely all the popular sayings around agriculture, around this area where I live. The weather patterns was precisely exact to the sayings, to the common popular sayings. So everything from 70, 80 years ago, my great great grandparents was already saying these things. So anyway, another prediction for the 2025 would be a very dry year because Easter is in April. It's going to be very dry and lots of people are going to be sick. So that's the prediction, especially around people that are already weak or old. So, so anyway, why are they trying to manipulate or block the sun? There's this novel book written by, I think, H.G. Wells. I'm not a fan, but I've seen the film. In the film, this guy invents a time machine, which is science fiction, to save his beloved from death. No matter how many times he traveled to the past to try to save her, she would unexpectedly die in a horrible way soon after. So he couldn't stop her death. So if he couldn't find any answers in the past after tormenting himself with her death so many times, he decided maybe the answer will be in the future. So he traveled to the future. And through some happenings and accidents, he hit his head, and the machine just started going thousands and thousands of years into the future. When he came to his senses, he was in this completely different world, and he found out there was two species of humans living in the surface and humans living underground. The ones at the surface, they were angel like, and the ones living in the ground were demon like. So every so often they would get out of the holes in the ground and attack and hunt down for food the humans at the surface. You could use this as an analogy for the interspecies predator that has always existed within humans. And you know why would the club would be building cities and bunkers underground? We could use this as an analogy, right? The Morlocks, I think they were called, are seeking refuge underground, while the rest of humanity is just above. Why do they fear the sun? Why this messianic, doomsday fear about the sun? Why do they want to block the sun? Why would they want to do these things? Why are they building cities underground? can't they tolerate the sun? Exactly. Probably they don't. Some, new age people talking about the raising in consciousness. We are living the Kali Yuga and going through the golden age, and the demon like, possessed people can't stand the sun, so they are going to hide underground to survive because the sun is bringing about a new age. Blah 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 blah. Who knows? But we can use that as an analogy, but don't take it too far, of course. Some people fear the sun. Why do they fear the sun? It's the source of life, right? Humans have been worshipping the sun since the first, I don't know, day. It's around the sun and the cosmos that religions are built. And the sun is always at the center of worship. Why would they fear it? You know, maybe like in the analogy of H.G. Wells, maybe they are the Morlocks, the interspecies predator. And once the sun, gets more intense, they can't stand it and have to hide in the shadows. Like evil. Evil is a shadow. Evil is a privation of good. So, anyway, um, what I realized as well is that people don't seem to be able to see things critically, and they can't help and attach their silly little beliefs into these happenings. You know, whenever the drones was out, doing their thing, people thought the sky was falling. They were, Star Trek, Interstellar, beings, or they thought they were, flying unicorns or something, you know. And now there's these particles, and they think it's a fog or a Stephen King fog or something similar to that or something. Come on. Is anyone taking samples and analyzing them? That's what I wanted to know. I mean, I don't have a microscope or a background in science, so if I had, I would take samples and study the thing and post the results. We'll see what happens. But lots of weird things are happening, right? Another thing came into my mind. There's groups of people just can't accept, events. They can't accept it, for instance, the election results. And they might try to impose over others their perception. For instance, they might try to impose over others that this is going to be a critical and hard time because our political leader lost. We're going to have to go through tough times, go into hiding, so to speak. We have to struggle. This is a bad thing. We have to be on our toes. We have to be alert, and almost like a survival thing because our political opponent didn't win. They are trying to, again, impose their silly little beliefs over, especially in schools. You can see it here and there. Like, no, it's not the end of the world. We're not going to have to go into hiding. They're trying to get to the youth. That's what they do always. The youth, or, women. Turning, the result of election like a soap opera. The bad result of a soap opera. Now we're going to have to struggle for 4 years, but we'll come out victorious after that. It's crazy. Anyway, a lot of people will be bamboozled, but the critical thinkers, nah, not so. It's so easy to see through these people. Anyway, tell me what you guys think. Have a nice day.